Let me start with this. Baseball is a game of failure. Even the best hitters fail 7 out of 10 times, blah, blah, blah. You've heard all that already. So that begs the question, why do pros look so cool and calm under pressure? It's not just talent and it's not just luck, it's preparation and rituals. Rituals are what turn chaos into control. They're the repeatable actions that go from I hope to I know. Today we're gonna go over 5 game day rituals that professional athletes swear by. These are not gimmicks, they are proven routines. Here we go. First is the mental reset. Baseball is mental warfare, we all know that. The minute you get in the box or on the mound and your head is racing, you've already lost the battle. The pros know this, so that's why their first ritual isn't physical, it's actually mental. You need to have some sort of reset that involves breathing, visualization, or something that slows the game down. You gotta think of your brain like a race car. If you floor it before the light turns green, you're gonna burn out very easily. Before every game, take 5 to 15 minutes alone. Close your eyes, breathe, or visualize, or come up with some sort of ritual on your own where you can slow the game down. If you do this consistently, the field will feel very familiar. Next, we'll step into the physical a little bit with movement prep. Average players will jog a lap, maybe touch their toes or whatever they gotta do to act like they're warmed up. But you need to treat it much more serious than that. The nervous system needs stimulation to get warmed up. If you go into a game with a sluggish nervous system, you are destined to fail. That's because the nervous system determines how fast you explode, how sharp you are, and ultimately the quality of your movements. I want you to think of movement prep in these 3 different categories: dynamic movement, activation movement, and primer movements. Dynamic movements stimulate blood flow, so running, hip mobility, anything that gets the blood moving. You have to do this. Activation movements will focus on very specific muscle groups that you will be using that day. Think of when people put bands around their ankles and they walk side to side, activating their outer glute. And my favorite, the primer movements. This one gets your nervous system running. For your primer movements, you need to move as quickly as humanly possible. I'll throw some examples on the screen right now. Warming up is not conditioning, it is ignition. You need to spend a lot of time warming up. Don't warm up to get loose, warm up to be lethal. Moving on, our next ritual is fuel. I'll keep this one pretty brief. We want to focus on carbohydrates the day of a game, as well as hydration with electrolytes and lean protein. Focus on electrolytes with water in game, carbs 3 to 4 hours before your game, and lean protein as well 3 to 4 hours before a game. You're good with some lighter carbs 1 to 2 hours before game, like fruit, but you definitely should not be eating right before game. Don't guess, make sure we are prepared. Our next ritual is a skill tune-up. A lot of you guys might be familiar with a skill tune-up before a game. You know, your short hops for infielders, maybe some fungos. Those are all good, but they need to be a little bit more intentional. Make sure we're fine-tuning our mechanical weaknesses, and also make sure we have an approach with our skill tune-up. If I'm taking BP before a game, I'm focusing on driving the ball through the middle of the field. Maybe going oppo if I find myself struggling going oppo. It's like a musician. They have to tune their instrument before they go on stage. You should leave the cage feeling better than when you walked in. That's because you walked in with a goal and you accomplished it by the time you leave. The goal isn't to be tired, it's to be sharp. Next, let's go a little bit into the post-game. Some things you can do post-game is hot-cold contrast. I used to do this a lot when I played, using a ice pack and then going into a hot shower or vice versa. This creates a blood pump in the body, which, as you know, blood does heal tissue. We can also hit a walk or stretch or mobility flow. On top of this, let's make sure we get a meal in after our game. You definitely want to get your carbs restored after you played. So eat a heavy carb meal as well as a lot of electrolytes if you felt like you didn't get enough in game. Finally, make sure you have a sleep routine, no phone before bed. Try to have the room dark and relatively cold. End of the day and post-game with intention. Even 15 minutes of a stretch or foam rolling can help you out big time in the long run. What you do after the game plays a big part in how you show up for the next one. So there you have it. These 5 rituals are not glamorous, but they separate guys who have structure versus the ones that don't. And as we know, structure gets you to the next level. So have a consistent mental reset, consistently have a movement prep series, fuel your body efficiently, have a skill tune-up routine, and make sure we have post-game recovery on lock. Stack these up every single game day and you will notice a big difference. Just remember that the pros don't hope to feel good, they engineer it. Once again, if you don't give a shit, I don't either. I'm out of here.